And welcome to Cyber Papa's new battlefield. I'm Cyber Papa Eric Belardo here with another episode of New Battlefields. Today we have a really exciting show for you guys in store. We got the TechSecChix here today, and my guest co-star here, Mr. Davin Jackson. So if this is what you're here to see, stand by. And welcome again. Today we have a great show for you guys, all about women in cyber, women in technology with the TechSecChix. So in a second here, I'm going to introduce my co-host for the evening, Mr. Davin Jackson. Hey, Davin, how you doing?
What's going on? What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, so you know. No, hold on. Nope, that's not. That's your, I'm sorry, we're on your show tonight. My fault.
Well, do your intro, please. I want you to tell everybody everything you do. Tell them about you. Tell them about your channel real quick and go hit it.
Okay, so my name is Davin Jackson, also known as DJax Alpha. You can find me there on Twitter and Instagram. I also run Alpha Cybersecurity. That is my blog and content site. I am also the host of Infosec Unplugged, that is currently on hiatus as I am in hiding, but I'm not doing a very good job of it since Eric done got me to come out here tonight. So, but yeah, like I said, just here to, support a fellow vet, fellow content creator. And of course, when I found out that, my sisters was going to be on here, I had to jump on it. So welcome everybody. Hopefully the pack, there's some members of the pack here. If not, we need to get them over here and get this show on the road. Let's go.
All right, let's do that. So now I'm going to introduce our guests here. So I'm going to bring in Angie, Mary, and Kalila. So let me organize these things real quick here. All right. How are you guys doing tonight?
Perfect.
Good. Doing well.
Oh, look at this excitement.
Let's do it.
There you go.
This is what we do.
All right. So let's first introduce Kalila. Kalila, please tell us a little bit about yourself and the organization.
Yes, I am Kalila. I'm the founder of TechSecChix and currently a student with Purdue University Global. And currently pursuing a GRC analyst position at the moment. So I would call myself a unemployment enthusiastic at the moment. But yeah, I brought two of my homegirls with me, Mary and Angie. I love my cyber sisters. And so definitely want to bring them along for the show.
Wonderful.
I guess we can pass it over to Mary.
Let's go ahead. Let Mary.
Hey everybody, I'm Mary, member of the TechSecChix. I guess I've been in IT for 4 years. I was actually trying to count. I'm pretty sure it's 4 years. But I'm currently studying towards my Network Plus and trying to get to know more people in the community and try to help TechSecChix become more of a name out there that is a comfortable place for people to come to. That's about it.
All right, Angie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angie. I have been, I guess I would say, in the industry for a couple of years. I'm currently a junior QA software analyst. I recently completed my bachelor's in cybersecurity at Utica College in December 2020. I got my, thank you. I got my Security Plus certification in June, and I'm hoping to transition into cybersecurity.
All right, wonderful. So I want to acknowledge some of the folks that are out there. Shayna, Studio Seg, Zoltan, thank you very much for joining the show today. If you are joining us from Facebook, make sure you go to streamyard.com Facebook so that we can see your comments there. Okay. The other thing I want to say is very quickly is if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like, subscribe, and that'll help us out a lot with the algorithm here. All right. Well, with that, let me start with some questions here for you guys. So tell me, how did you get in the field? You know, how did you get into technology? How did you get into cyber? What's your story? So I'm going to start with Kalila.
For me, I've always been into like gaming and technology, but I kind of second guess myself a lot of the time. So I didn't pursue a career in it for a very long time. Like my first time going to college, I went for pre-law. The second time I went was for nursing. Of course, I'm not a nurse or a judge or a lawyer. And now this is my third time giving it a try, going back to school. And so I'm going for information security and assurance. I'm 6 months from graduating. And I think like in my first year, my daughter was at Purdue West Lafayette. And so what would happen is she loved to come home because she's like mama's baby. And so as I was going back and forth to drive and pick her up from Indianapolis, I came across the Darknet Diaries podcast. And so I started listening to them as I was driving her back and forth. And I was like, yo, it's a whole community of me out here. And so that's how I kind of discovered Infosec Twitter. From the start of that, like even with me going to my first like career fair and just getting shot down 40 different times. You know, one person that was kind of there for me was like John Breath, which is AKA Jay Bizzle. He was like, don't give up, like keep on going. I need you to keep on going. And so as I continue to grow and learn, I've met so many great people like my brother Davin, like that's literally fam for me. Like that is legit fam. And I have a lot of respect for him, Tyrone, John, like those are my brothers. And so I've been on this ride, on this kick, and I'm still, currently searching for a GRC position. But I'm very much so hopeful than I was when I started this experience. I created the TechSecChix just to make sure that we had a safe space where we can, have a sisterhood and just support one another and just be there for each other. And who better than a person that is going through that type of experience where you can sisterhood with people that are new just like you, or people that are more tenured in cybersecurity and can give us tips and different resources that will help us along our path. But it was just more so a support system, and it's been that since then. And we're coming up on a year. In about 2 weeks, we're going to have a panel field open discussion about just really people networking and how to make it work for you. I think it can attribute to a lot of my success that I have had as far as, my internship. It was a guy that reached out to me from Twitter. He saw a post where I passed the Security Plus in January, and that's how that got into motion. So even working with Tyrone, that was just, again, around the same time, like everything that I have been given or I've learned, I won't say everything, but a lot of it has contributed to people networking. So I want to have something in place where we can have an open discussion and take questions from men and women just about people networking and what are the roadblocks that you are going through, because a lot of people that are in technology are introverts. So when it comes to things like that, they don't want to reach out to people. They don't want to talk. They don't want to ask the questions that they should be asking. And how do we help them get past that moment?
So as you were talking, I had another question,
Okay.
which is a little more controversial, but so from a Hispanic Latino man coming, how has your experience being a person of color and a woman been in that networking?
I feel like I've come across some really great people, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I've come across some really great people that have given me some really great resources and opportunities, and I will say that. However, when it comes to the real job market and actually trying to get a job, it is a different vibe. It is a very different vibe. I feel like I have to work 10 times harder. I have to go above and beyond 10 times harder than a white male or even a white female. It's very different for me. So I always go that extra mile because I'm used to it. Even with me being in school, I have 20 years of work history behind me. I'm not a young person. I don't let the black don't crack fool you. I look very young. I look very young, but I am a 41-year-old woman, and I have a lot of work history behind me, including management experience. And so for me, I know what that looks like in the real world. I know what it looks like to have to work extremely hard just because of the color of your skin or because of you being a woman. And so those are the things that I really want to protect my ladies, my women, and my group from that. But there is no way of getting around it. The only thing that I can do is be there to catch them when things go awry, or be there to support them through those things, because I know what that actually looks like outside of tech, just in general in the workforce.
Thank you. Mary, what about you? What's your story? How did you get in here to technology and cyber?
Yeah, so I did not know I was going to be in this field when at all ever, and I graduated from college with a mass comm degree, and ended up at a bank where I was a teller for a while, and then became half IT, half digital media for marketing, because they couldn't do full-time marketing. And I knew how to make a computer go brr. So I thought I would just go ahead and be like, that's fine. Yeah, I can just do small things in IT. It's fine. And then I got into the IT part, and I was like, this is the jam. This is where it's at.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting into that. I went into that full time, and it was a gradual find about the Twitter community. I would always just kind of look on there, but wouldn't do much. And then one day I was like, oh, this is where it's all at is Twitter. So I went and started going on to Twitter more. And then it's funny because one day I saw Kalila out of the blue. Like, it was just really random. And I was like, oh, she seems cool. So I followed her, right? And then one day I saw one of her posts that she's starting a group, which was the TechSecChix. And I was like, this is that chance where it's a small enough group that you can actually kind of really get in and know people. So I was able to get into that, and that's been great ever since, because if you're starting out in tech at all, Twitter is the place. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hot piles of garbage. you really got to swim through that a little bit. But but once you do, it's you're there. It's you find the good things and you learn a lot. And since then, I've just been
like any other place. You got the good, you got the bad, but you stay away from the bad. Focus on the good.
Oh yeah. And so since then, I became kind of a network administrator assistant to my boss, and it was funny because I was actually the first female in the IT department to start. And it's been quite a journey these past few years since. The guys were great. They were amazing, but there's just something different having a fellow female on the team. And since then, we have had more females come in to our department, which is great. And so since then, it's been one of those you just don't look back sort of things. Just keep looking ahead.
Sounds good. Absolutely. What about you, Angie?
I've been in the financial services since high school. When I was in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I didn't go to college. So I started out kind of as a teller, and then I became credit underwriter, and I did that for a number of years. And I've been in private student loan industry for I think 16 years. And when I was an underwriter in the private student loan industry, I started working with the fraud department doing fraud investigations. So that actually kind of jump-started my interest in cybersecurity, because I wanted to go back to school to become a fraud investigator, to do fraud investigations. So I went and got my associates in criminal justice with the intention to go to Utica College because they have an amazing cybercrime and fraud investigations program. And that's like the umbrella of cybersecurity, cybercrime, fraud investigations. So when I began my degree, my original intention was to do fraud investigation. But with my first, I think it was, I'm trying to remember the class. It was something, it was one of the kind of cyber information. I can't remember the name of the class, but anyway, it was one of the kind of introductory cybersecurity courses. And I realized that I was actually more interested in the kind of the computer aspect than fraud investigations. And I switched my major to network cybersecurity, and the concentration was network forensics and intrusion investigations. And that's what ultimately I got my degree in. And so I stayed with the company that I was in, private student loans, and but I changed positions to junior QA software analyst to kind of get more into the tech side of it, and slowly making my way into security.
So now what you're saying is you can get rid of my student loans. That's basically
that's what everyone says. Like student loans, everyone's always like, "Oh, you're the enemy," or "Can you get rid of my student loans?" or that kind of stuff. Yeah, everyone always says that.
You didn't catch the double flex there. So she has access to the student loans, and then with her experience,
I can
she can cover her tracks.
Make them disappear and
so
no
nothing. She knows how to do it.
Tomorrow her boss is going to see this and say,
full disclaimer.
And can we talk to you for a second real quick?
Here you go. The group here at New Battlefields does not condone.
Disclaimers, please. I want to say that I am ethical and legal.
So that's awesome though, and kudos to all of you for knowing within yourself that this is what you wanted to do and make a change, and eventually that led you guys to come, or ladies I should say, to coming together and joining the TechSecChix.
FBI has entered the chat. Sorry, that I couldn't.
Right. Yeah.
but seriously, so you said in about 2 weeks you have your 1 year anniversary, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I think Eric touched on it a little bit as far as your experiences about with being a woman in this field. But in the year that you have done, you've worked with this group, you ladies have worked together, bringing in other women and collaborating. What lessons have you learned just from the group itself, from sharing the experiences of others and being in that tight-knit community?
I think just in general, like just having a sisterhood. I think just the support is crazy in the group. I've definitely learned to open up a little bit more with people because I feel like it's a safe space. And so with things of that nature, like I think I've watched some of the ladies kind of grow and open up a little bit more, themselves. And whether it's from watching me or watching some of the other ladies, like we kind of feed off of each other's energy and we just go for it. So I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways. So.
Right. And Mary, you said you were the first female to be hired in your position where you're at currently, and you said since then they've brought on other women. Do you think your grind and your work ethic open their eyes a little bit to, I guess, being comfortable, which in 2021 sounds, Eric, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I can curse on here, so but let's say it rhymes with the word ducking. Ridiculous. But yeah, do you think showing that you can do the job allowed them to open their eyes and get their head out of their grasses and open up to
Be yourself.
Oh, awesome. So do you think you doing what you do got them to get over their fucking bullshit and expand their horizons?
Oh yeah. So obviously first starting out, it was, I don't know if people know this, but in finance, a lot of them are male dominated anyways. So it's a male environment anyways to begin with. And so going in there and, being the first woman on that team. And it was kind of funny when you said guys, and then you corrected yourself. My boss would do that all the time at first. He'd be like, all right, guys, let's go. And lady was like, no, you don't have to do that. It's okay. But since the fact that we have gotten 2 other women in there, their roles are different, a little bit administrative as well. But one is actually in our group, in the TechSecChix group, and she follows quite a bit. She's more of a lurker, which is fine. But it's fun to kind of talk with her about it and kind of watch her learn the same way I did. Because I mean, hands-on learning, there's nothing that can beat it, right?
Nope, not at all.
So yeah, so watching her come in there and growing, kind of the same way I did, and then so her I believe her horizons have expanded a little bit, and I believe our new girl that just started, she'll figure out more, and they're both really smart. They'll definitely go further, but it's definitely nice to have.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I'm glad that they got over that. And Ange, you said you said forensics, and immediately my ears perked up because that was actually the route I wanted to go originally. Like I love pen testing, I love hacking, but then when I took a cyber forensics course and I was really literally about to like throw it all away, because I loved the aspect of doing that doing those investigations and almost getting in the head of the person committing that cyber crime. And unfortunately, where I was living in Connecticut at the time, you had to be law enforcement, and my ass wasn't going into law enforcement to do it. So I was like, well, I'm still good at hacking, so I'll just use the forensics experience to make me a better hacker. But for you, what do you enjoy about the cyber forensics field? Because you don't really hear too many people talk about forensics, right? You hear everybody wants to talk about the hacking, like that's the sexy job, right? But you have Kalila, who wants to do GRC, which is awesome. You have Mary, who's doing the networking side of things, and now you're doing forensics. So that's great that, you know, you're also showing that you can be successful in other fields other than, you know, the glamorous stuff, which, by the way, it's not. But what do you enjoy about forensics?
I just really like looking for things. I like looking into things. One of my favorite classes was like cell phone forensics, where we were like digging into the cell phone, like the tables and everything that are inside the cell phones, not taking apart the physical cell phone, but actually like the cell phone data, and just kind of digging down. And I'm not like a data analytics person, but I really do just kind of like searching for things. It's kind of just like I guess it's almost like a mystery to me. If I can just kind of find something, that's what I really like to do. I like searching for things. A few of us in TechSecChix did the Trace Labs OSINT global, one of their global CTFs, and I really liked the aspect of just scouring the internet for information. I don't know what it is about it. I just like finding the thing that people can't find.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I think the other thing forensics teaches you is that nothing is ever deleted.
Oh yeah.
So.
Like you know, I loved carving files and looking in packets and stuff, and I think it's weird because not a lot of people like it. I mean, when I'm like, I've had some interviews and stuff, and I talk about like that's why I did like network forensics and stuff, and I talk about you know, Wireshark and capturing packets and looking through that data, and a lot of people think that's boring or whatever, but I liked it. So
A little known secret, I spent 10 years of my career in forensics.
did you?
Nice.
Wow.
And I was a consultant to federal service. So
So we can't hide anything from you. Right.
my family hates me. I actually have a forensics workstation right there ready to go.
Nice.
Look, the DOD has entered the chat.
I don't think they ever left.
And like Shane said, team lurker.
It's always still quiet ones.
Yeah, it is. So now that you guys are in and you're trying to bring in more of that visibility of, you know, the women in technology, women in cyber, this specific field is, while, like you said, it was dominated by men, continues to be dominated by men, it's a field that sex, orientation, anything, it really doesn't matter. It's right here. You know, it's about knowledge. And I say it in my intro, it's all about knowledge. It doesn't matter if you're woman, if you're man, you know, whatever. How are you guys bringing more people that might feel scared to enter into the field? And what are things that you guys are doing?
Again, I think with starting these monthly talks that we want to have, and that we're going to do, we want to bring some of those topics to the table, and then not just for women, but for men as well. We definitely want to just tackle. We have a list of topics that we have went through. We usually have meetings every month where we discuss different things that we just feel like, those are challenges for many of us. So if we have a Discord of 90 women and most 20 to 30 or something pop in from here and now, imagine how many other people that are dealing with this alone. We want to just open the floor to where we can just have these difficult conversations, and just shed some of our experiences, enlighten them on different things. Maybe we can provide some resources on how to get some help with that, or where they could go or get some help. But it's just the being afraid and being new to ask those difficult questions. Like, that's the hardest part. If you don't reach out to people, they don't know you really need the help until maybe it's a little too late. We don't want to continue to go on that path. There are so many different people that are so cool in this industry and in this community, that I have met, that I feel like a lot of us in TechSecChix, I feel like a lot of us in TechSecChix have met so many cool and awesome people. And so we need to start now in providing those resources to others and being that support system for others. We don't have to wait till we have a job in the industry. We don't have to wait till we complete college. We don't have to wait until this, and that. And when you put these stipulations on things, you'll never get started. So let's just go. I feel like I'm a complete representation of what I would want to do for somebody else, because I know what that looks like from the representation that has come my way.
And I think one thing that's great about our group is that we don't just talk tech. We have, we talk about other things in our life. We support each other when we're going through tough times, and, and we're welcoming. We welcome, it's not just women. We have people in our group who are maybe non-binary or trans or whatever, and we just welcome people, and it's a safe space.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, you just like Kalila was saying, you can't wait until you're like good enough, right? You can't just wait to get involved when you have that cert, or when you have a job, or when you get to that point. You kind of need to just dive right in. And I know that's one thing I try to encourage if I see someone kind of holding back a little bit now, because being in the group, that was a good push of, hey, get out there and talk to people. You don't have to be so closed up. They're going through the same thing you're going through. They're having the same struggles with families, juggling jobs, juggling all of that together at once. And so it's a good group to go to basically just get some support and sometimes even advice on stuff going forward, for not just in the field, but for everyday life. So it's definitely still a work in progress, but it's still pretty good.
And I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to pass it to Davin. But a couple months ago, I saw this young lady right here come into a stream and talk to Cyber Warrior, myself, and she was like a scared mouse.
Yes.
And
I was terrified.
Look at her now. Kalila, what have you done?
You know what? I was the first one to go on the side. I was in there drinking, sipping wine. Like, I was like, yo, I don't care. I mean, and let's be clear. This just started this year. What ended up really happening was, I made a decision. And the decision was, this was not my strong suit. Like, me talking to people live and doing everything, like, it just wasn't my thing. And so at the beginning of the year, I was like, I need to change that. I'm watching all these people talk, and talk about their experiences. I have a story to tell as well. So I like it would, I would appreciate hearing talks from people like me. That's what I thought in my mind. I was like, I would love to see some people that are just like me, struggling like me, dealing with the bro code thing in the tech industry like me, dealing with the, you know, whatever, whether it be race, being a woman, whatever. I want to see people like me out here having these conversations, not people that's 10, 15, 20 years in the game and they, you know, they're already established. We're trying to get there. So for me, I, you know, if I can't see the representation that I want, Davin always said every show, representation matters. And so who better than to represent what I want to see than me? And so I just said, I'm talking about sweating and like I was mad nervous every talk. I did one. Me and Davin did one together, like the Share the Mics in Cyber. We did the podcast on there. Oh my God, I've done what is the one that Ty's doing right now?
Cover 6.
No, the one he's taking over.
Crypto
Harlem. I've done the Crypto Harlem show. I've done the Cyber Warrior show. I've done Davin's show. I've done Cover 6 Solutions. I've done your show now. I've done the Cover 6 Solutions. I actually
done the streams with JB.
Yeah, JB. I've done like 3 streams with him doing track hack me rooms, and then on top of that, like one of the first ones that I did was with Tyrone Wilson. He was doing an 8-hour set for I believe it was Blacks in Cyber.
The conference.
Did an 8-hour course, and I was his co. Yeah, I was his co-host, co-anchor, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like I just made that decision, and I was like, I can't be no punk. Like I gotta get out here. You know what I mean? Like I can't be no punk. And what better way to influence the ladies that are there with me than to go out there and do it? Because if they see you doing it, they're like, hold on, maybe I can do
exactly what did it for me.
Yeah.
Get out there and do it. And
She's
I'm
a good
like,
encourager and a good influencer.
So
energy.
So I was gonna say, so funny story, and Kalila, I hope you're okay with me sharing this, but I think earlier in the year, I think you had talked about you had your reservations and stuff, and I basically hit you up on the side and was like, nah, not acceptable.
Absolutely.
You know, it was like not acceptable. You got a lot to offer, even if you don't think you do. And one of the couple things that I've always said, first of all, is be the change you want to see. And Kalila did that, and it jumped to with Mary, and I think ever since that conversation, it was like after that, it was like, yeah, Kalila did the show, and then I was like, every time I popped up somewhere, it was like Kalila was there. Kalila got there before me. I remember one time we were they were doing like one of the Twitter Spaces, and then Kalila sends me a screenshot, and she's like, look, all three. It was like me, her, and Ty. It was like all three of us were here together. But like I said, I that's awesome to see. And I think the other thing that I've been saying pretty much all 2021 is it can be done, it can be us, and it has to be us. And that can take on many different meanings. And I think what you ladies are doing is an embodiment of that. Like it can be done, and it can be done by women, and it has to be because representation matters, right? So with that being said, one of the other things I think is really helpful that you ladies do, and clearly you said this on the show with me, was how you encourage one another. So I think you were giving the story about the Security Plus book and how you guys, ladies, pass the book, but on top of passing the book, you pass the words of encouragement in the book. And to me, that's, yes, learning the stuff to pass the test is important, but to me, the notes and the words of encouragement to me matter more. Anybody can pick up a book on Amazon or PDFs. Davin does not encourage downloading PDFs. But you can, you can get the books anywhere, but you can't get that feeling of opening up and having those words of encouragement from that sisterhood that you ladies have. So speak on that, about how, uplifting each other has helped each of you individually and as a group.
I guess I'll start off with the book thing. So what ended up happening was
Sorry.
message. So what ended up happening was again, people networking on Twitter. So a lady named Kristen Bragger, I'm hoping I'm saying her last name accurately. But so she was having this. Yeah, so she was having this giveaway. She gave away, I can't remember the young lady's Twitter handle, but she's got like a financial book. So she was giving away that book, plus the Daryl Gibson's Security Plus book, plus the Security Plus exam voucher. And I hadn't seen the post. And Jay Bizzle tagged me in the post, and he was like, she would be a good person for this giveaway. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to have it. And then like a couple days later, she DM'd me and she was like, yeah, you won. And I was like, hell yeah. So, fast forward to that. I think like 6 months later, I took the test. I passed it using the book, using, Jason Dion's course as well. And so when the next person time was up where they were studying for the Sec Plus, which was Kashana, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sign this book the date that I passed it. And then I'm going to send it to you and just send some words, which, just keep encouraging you to keep going, keep studying. She got the book, used it, passed it, and then I don't remember who the third person was that got it. But we're about 4 or 5 deep in people using this same book to pass this test. And I just feel like, again, it's creating that sisterhood. It's creating the connection that, like you say, we can go and buy the books all day and study by ourselves, but just to know that so many before you that you are sisters with have passed this test using this same exact book. Like, it's phenomenal. It's a different kind of feeling. And I'm sorry, what was the question?
I think you answered it. How you ladies talked about it earlier, but I wanted you to speak on that example. But yeah, you answered it about how the encouragement, helps each other and helps create that bond. And like I said, there's a lot of that missing just in today in general, not even just in tech. I mean, tech has its own. Tech has his own thing, and the fact that you ladies are doing this to bring it together, the fact that you have people like Eric who are trying to amplify those voices as well and bring it together. It upsets what's deemed normal. So only thing I would say is not even so much of a question, is just keep up the fight. 100%. And any way I can help, let me know.
Yeah, kind of like what Shanna put down there. That is one thing that's so fantastic about this group, is that everybody understands your struggle. If you're struggling to understand something you're studying, like one time somebody was asking me about subnetting, and just the whole group went in there and just went him like, what do you need to understand? It's like it feels kind of like like they said, a sisterhood, that it's like, we all understand what's going on. We're here for you when you fail, and we're here for you when you make it. Like, it's great, actually.
And it's like I said before, it doesn't even have to be about tech. I remember I was struggling with like I had to take jurisprudence of the criminal law or something, and I was struggling with an assignment that I had to do, and Kiki and I think it was Kay, who was it?
Shana? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were like, and I was kind of new to the group. I didn't really know you guys very well yet at that point or whatever. And you guys were like, you want to jump on a call and we can try to help you figure it out. And it was like, it was law. It wasn't even tech. And we jumped on a call and you guys helped me with my problem.
Yeah.
We just have that community.
You know what? Because I was the bootleg lawyer. I was supposed to.
That's true.
I want to live vicariously through you. But no, yeah, I forgot all about that. Like that was those are good
that
moments.
meant so much to me though. That strain, like we at that point we didn't really know each other very well. To me anyway. We'd never talked, we never knew face to face. That you guys were willing to like help me in that way. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
Some things you can't get on Twitter.
That's right.
True.
That's one of them.
And I know this as barracks lawyers. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is the community that you've created.
Yeah. Now, like Davin says, representation is everything. Now, I, have a challenge myself, being that you guys think it's bad for you guys. Being a Hispanic in tech is even lesser number than all of the other groups. So we're trying to work on that too, but that's a challenge. I understand that. I feel it every day. I've been in this industry for 30 years, and it's been an uphill climb for me as well. So I'm going to open right now up for anybody that's watching us. If you have any questions for our panel, please go ahead and put a Q in front of your question and type it in the chat there. There you go, Davin. Okay, so while we're waiting for any questions, do you guys have any questions you guys want to ask us, or any other topics that you guys want to amplify?
No, I mean, for me, like I say, just being a Black woman in cybersecurity, in situations where, my role models, okay.
What you were going to say, I'm very interested. So go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, being a Black woman in cybersecurity, when you go to different social media outlets outside of Twitter, like Instagram and Facebook, I have no one at all.
Wow.
I don't even have any males that I know that are like me at all. I'm sorry. I lied. John, Tyrone, and Davin. Those are the only. I'm just saying in general, from like people I'm friends with people I went to school with and like my family and things like that. But in that type of environment, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Nobody gets me. Nobody understands where I'm coming from at all. So the support, they like, oh, congratulations, but they have no idea what I'm talking. I mean, like, I passed the Security Plus. They like, that is awesome, girl. They don't even know what the hell Security Plus is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like it just is so important to have not only TechSecChix, but just the community on Twitter, because it just provides a space where I can just be myself and not have to feel awkward or weird.
You really want her to be herself?
You said what?
You really want
her to be herself?
So I'll touch on that in a second, but I think you ladies have a question. So about the role models.
Oof.
Angie, do you want to go or
put me on the spot?
I can go?
I honestly haven't really thought about that. I don't really have any role models.
I would say for me, and he's not watching, so this is perfect because nobody can call me a piss butt or anything, by the way. But a good role model I've had that has taught me so much, especially when it comes to tech, would be my boss, Camilla, who is a Hispanic that, went from the bottom. Now he's up top, he runs the IT department. And, since the day I started back there, he's been nothing but accepting. And don't get me wrong, he's a pain in my butt, but you could not ask for somebody that to support you more. And he's been such a great role model for me, and has given me the incentive to just push harder every time I'm doing something. So I would probably say my boss, Camilla.
Right. Good stuff. All right, Davin, you were going to say something?
Oh, so no, to Khalila's point about it's a very lonely field because a lot of people, only people who seem to understand it are the people who are actually in it, right? I tell the story all the time when I first got my ethical hacking certification, and I told people that I was a pen tester, a penetration tester. Half the room had giggles, and the other half were like, "Well, what's ethical
Always the
hacking?"
giggles.
It was like, well, what's ethical hacking? That's an oxymoron. I think for like the first 3 years of me actually being a pen tester, I had family members who were just like, "You're okay doing this? What if you go to jail?" And like they'd go to my wife, "Are you okay being married to someone who's possibly could commit crimes?" So yeah, it's almost like speaking another language. But another thing that I like to say is, that's where, you have to kind of really bet on yourself, or you ladies actually created the cheat code and built a community. So that's where you really have to find it. Because, this, I wasn't thinking that, coming in, it was just like, I asked for help. Okay. No one helped me. Okay, screw this. I'm going to go and I'm just going to do it on my own. And yeah, it gets real. It gets real lonely. So you have to be able to bet on yourself, and you have your group and your support system.
Yeah.
I'll say something funny, but you said about the penetration tester. Back in '99, I actually had a business card that said Master Penetration Tester, and I was a single at the time in Washington D.C. And when I was in a bar, they would say, "Hey, what do you do?" And I would,
Oh no.
Master penetration tester.
here's my.
And
I can see you doing that, Eric. I can see it.
my sister says to me, I hate penetration tester. I just don't like that job title. I'm like, sorry.
It is where the money resides.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like
along. William says, "Yeah, you test enter blue, green, red. Yeah. There you go." All right. Well, I want to encourage everybody to visit. Can you guys said the website, the Twitter handle? What is it? Go ahead.
TechSecChix.com, and Chicks is with the X. I'll actually put it in the chat. And then the Twitter page is just the same, at TechSecChix with the X. So yeah.
I'll let you guys go ahead and one last word from each one of you.
Yeah, so please check us out. We want nothing more than to help each other along, and it's a very supportive place to be. It's a very safe place to be. And if you're wanting to connect with people and get to know people in the community, it's definitely one of the good places to come to.
Yeah, I'm glad that I found this wonderful group of women, and we hope more of you that are watching out there want to come join us. And we're here to encourage you and help you, and we're a fun group of people.
Right. Wonderful. So, like I said, I put it
Hold
down
on,
here.
hold
At
on 1 second.
Yeah, it's one question
A,
that I wanted to
yeah, let's say A. I don't want to butcher your name, but they asked if there was any advice for an autistic hacker switching from the engineering skills trades to security and or data AI.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ladies wanted to answer.
One thing I will say, I have worked on a couple of projects with people that were on the spectrum, and they were some of the most genius, smartest people I have ever met in my entire life. I think that transition is definitely doable. I don't have the necessary skills to say that you should do A, B, and C. Find a section of cybersecurity that you're generally interested in, and then just hone that skill. Just continue to learn about that. You can definitely do it. But I have so much respect for people that are on the spectrum, because I just it's amazing. Like, I had one young man that I worked with on a temporary project at a hospital, a tech job. And he was just so cool, so awesome. But he also had his moments where he just didn't know how to express himself, like we would. But I understood where he was coming from. And I had so much love and compassion for him that before I left that position, I actually bought him like a tech wallet, where it had like the RFID thing where you couldn't scan his cards and whatnot. But yeah, I just think that is just absolutely doable, and I think you should pursue whatever you want to do, because I know you have the skills and talent to do so.
Yep. I've got 3 children that are autistic.
Wow.
Yeah, I would just like to add to that and just say build on the skills that you have from engineering. Some of those skills can transfer into security or data AI. So, take what skills that can transfer, build on those, and then find what you're really interested in, what you want to switch to. And like Kiki said, just kind of focus on that and build on that some more, and go from there.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here tonight. Stand by. I'm going to throw a couple things here. Davin, do you want to pitch all your shows and all that stuff real quick?
No, I'm messing with you. No, seriously, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at djax_alpha. Facebook is Alpha Cybersecurity or Alpha Cybersec. I don't know. I haven't really been on Facebook a lot lately. You can also check me out here on YouTube. It is YouTube/C/Alpha Cybersecurity. And please go check out Infosec Unplugged. I do not know when I'm coming. Well, I do know. I'm just not saying yet, but whether or not I'm coming back. But I've been taking a little break, just observing what everybody else is doing and just kind of taking some time off and spending time with my family. So I'll give you a hint. The show will be back, maybe. And just stay tuned. Shout out to the Wolf Pack, though.
Wolf Pack.
Okay, so tomorrow, the Cyber Warrior Studios is having 2 security happy hours, one at 5 o'clock in the afternoon for our friends overseas with a special guest. Go check out Cyber Warrior Studios on Twitter for any information on that. And then he's having the 7 o'clock show with some other guests. So he's going to be a busy boy tomorrow. Also, we just launched our Patreon today. So if you guys want to check it out, it's patreon.com, Eric Belardo Cyber. And next week on this show, we will be talking with Sarah Morjad on online harassment. So please stay tuned, 7 o'clock Thursday. And thank you very much to the TechSecChix for being here. Thank you, Davin, for covering for Cyber Warrior. I hope this was a fun environment for you. And again, thank you for the bottom of the heart.
No problem. Thanks for calling me out and, inviting me to be on the show. Maybe I'll come back another point and be the guest. We'll see. But ladies, as always, it's a pleasure. Like I said, anytime you want to reach out to me, you know how to find me. So, yeah, thanks.
Remember,
Eric.
you guys have allies. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. And thank you very much to all the folks that joined us tonight. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll remember, practice safe cyber, and we'll see you soon.